topic, I just wanted to, perfect. I just wanted to take a few seconds to take care of some housekeeping items. The first one is you probably just heard this meeting is being recorded. So just be aware of that, and we'll probably post it on our website in case you want to go back and revisit any of the information. Please remember to mute your microphones if you're not speaking. This will just reduce background noise, dogs, kids, phones, that kind of thing. We would like to hold all questions till the end so that we're sure to get through everything. So either hop on your mic at the end of the presentation and ask your questions, or if you are afraid you'll forget or don't have a mic or don't feel comfortable, just drop them in the chat. I'll kind of keep an eye on the chat throughout the presentation and make sure any questions that are placed in there get brought up at the end. As I mentioned in the webinar invitation, all attendees will receive a gift card from IPS. So if for some reason you're logged in under a screen name that isn't easily identifiable, be sure to drop your name and your email address in the chat. Then I will send a gift card out to you, an e-gift card. So be on the lookout for a follow-up email from me, just working out the details on that so I can get you the card that you want. My last item is a shameless marketing plug. Just make sure you follow IPS on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram for updates on new technology, industry trends, safety matters, tips and tricks, and then just some fun pictures of our crew. Now that I have all of that out of the way, please allow me to introduce Mark Barber from Digital Monitoring Products to present today's topic.
Yeah, so hi everybody, thanks for having me on. So I work with a company called Digital Monitoring Products. We're known as a DMP in the industry. We've been in business since 1975. We're located in Springfield, Missouri. So we are manufactured, we are designed, engineered, assembled, manufactured in the United States, as well as supported in the United States. And we are the last security burglar alarm panel manufacturer on US soil. Everybody else has gone offshore. So a little bit about DMP. We are a strong commercial security manufacturer. That's where our roots are. We have a residential offering, but we are very strong in commercial. We are in public schools. We are in government applications, military applications. We are dominant in the banking industry and in big box stores. We're in there as well. Companies like Starbucks and CVS and stuff like that. So a lot of multi-location stuff. Today, what I was wanting to talk to you about was I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of panel specifications or anything like that. I wanted to show you our operating software to manage your security system and your access control system. I will say one of the nice things about the way DMP goes to market is, there are security panel manufacturers and there are access control manufacturers. There are very few, in fact, I know of no others, who are combination systems right out of the box. In other words, where they are designed for the access control and the security system to work in perfect harmony and tandem. In fact, according to SDM magazine in 2018, that's a security marketing magazine, DMP was the third largest manufacturer of access control based on the number of doors sold in the United States. And we're primarily a security panel manufacturer. So we're real proud of that. So let me give you a little rundown here, guys. And if you have any questions as we get going, I'll be happy to answer them for you. Of course, I'm on dmp.com right now. There is a plethora of information there for not only our dealers, but for the public. You don't need a password to get in. You can get in and you can see things like our products, our spec sheets, and things like that. You're free to hop around and we just redesigned the website, so you might go there and be able to learn an awful lot about DMP. With that being said, let me get started here. And I'm going to call up, there's our new website actually. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to call up Virtual Keypad. Bear with me one second. So this is how I would manage my access control and my security system. So all I do is I go to virtualkeypad.com. Now, let me point out that this is a web browser-based system. There's also a mobile app that comes with it that I will show you how that works. But so you're going to enter an email address and a valid passcode, and you're going to hit login. As soon as you log in, all of your panels would be shown over here. So these are all separate buildings in this case. So we have the Pizza King headquarters, distribution center, corporate, we have a retail, we have a beach house. So we have about 9 systems over here, but I'm gonna log into the distribution center. So as I log into the distribution center with my user code, let me point out that this would be the same user code that I use to arm and disarm the alarm system. So I have triple authentication. I have an email address, I have a password, and I have a user code that is unique to me. So once I enter that, I go ahead and I log in. And once I do, and this happens, I'm on a little, let me just say, I'm on a little Verizon jetpack here. So if I'm a tad slow connecting, that's why. I don't think we're going to do too bad though. So my dashboard comes up for the distribution center. As I'm looking at the distribution center here, this is my burglar alarm portion, which is my arming. So you can see here I have 3 different areas, which is the office, the IT room, and the warehouse. So I can click on this zone status if I want to and find out what the status of all my zones are. Okay, so just as an example, or I can come over here and I can arm just the office area, and oh, looks like I have something that I have to address. So because I have faults on my system, it's now asking me, hey, the lobby door is ajar or not closed, and the office motion detector is tripped. Well, in this case, I know Bob is right behind me and we're on our way out the door. And that's why, the door is ajar and the motion is tripped because it's picking them up. I can hit stop and go back and fix whatever it is. In other words, in that case, I know something might be wrong with that magnetic contact. It got knocked off the door and I'm going to have to go do something about it. Or I can bypass it, which means I'm going to ignore that particular device for this arming period. Or I can say, okay. If I say okay, it means go ahead and arm the system anyway, which is what I'm going to do here. Because with okay, once that system clears, it becomes an active part of the system again. So once the door shuts and the motion detector clears, it's now armed along with the rest of the system. So I can do that, or I come over here and I could have just hit arm all if I'm able to arm all the areas and I want to arm all the areas, okay? So again, now I can see I have a problem on the shipping door. So in this case, I would bypass it. And that bypass is going to show up in my history that Mark Barber bypassed that shipping door. So if you have a problem, you can come back and talk to me about why I bypassed the shipping door. Over here to the right, we have just a short history about in the last 24 to 48 hours, depending on how much activity you have. We have a full history tab that I'll show you momentarily. Below this, we have our access control doors. So on these doors, I can do things like grant access, which is the same as a card read. So if someone was at my at the office and they needed to get in somewhere, I could grant them access. Or if my authority level says I can unlock that door and just have it remain in an unlocked state. Okay, and so that's what happens. Now on the warehouse door, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to unlock that door. And you'll see that I'm not down in the right-hand corner here. I'm not authorized to unlock that area, so it won't let me. So another option too, is I'll point out, is that this doesn't even have to show up if I'm not authorized. This could not be here based on my profile when you set the people up. So we also have a lockdown button. So if you think of schools and preschools and any type of hazardous material, active shooters, anything, hazardous materials. If I need to do a lockdown, if my profile allows me, I can click lockdown and automatically lock all public facing doors. When I say public facing, I'm just talking about doors that have been programmed as public in the program. It doesn't mean they have to be open. We just program it as a public door because we want to be able to lock them down. Once you lock those doors down, it requires a person with a specific lockdown override ability in their profile to be able to undo it. Because once that lockdown is done, no credentials work anymore unless somebody has that that specific profile. Because again, we always blame it on the janitor, but if it's a school and it's a janitor, it's the perpetrator, he's got a card. We don't want him walking right back in after we locked him out of an area. So that's why that is set up that way. As we move down here, you can see that we have some camera capability. So DMP sells our own cameras. They're called SecureCom cameras. They're basic observation cameras, and they would show up in here. Now, these cameras that you happen to be looking at are by a company called OpenEye. We integrate with OpenEye, Eagle Eye, Hike Vision, and Digital Watchdog. And so their cameras can show up here as well. Now, they are in the process of moving some of their stuff. They're actually moving locations. OpenEye is, because in this case, we're just tapping into their server with their IP address and password, and it's showing up in our browser here. So, but this is just a dashboard. So that's a basic dashboard on what I would see when I log in. Now I can also click on this. And again, I'm on a hotspot, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. We'll see in a moment. Okay, so now I can come back here. That's obviously a daytime shot. I can go over here and I can say, well, you know what? Let's take me back to Monday the 31st, and let's go to 10 o'clock p.m. and we'll hit the go button. And at that point, we're looking at an evening shot there. It's well lit, obviously, but you can see that it took me back to that date and time. And so we can do that. We can view it live. And again, this is just the dashboard. Everybody who has a dashboard may log in and see something different. Because again, if I don't have access to all the doors won't show up on my dashboard. Some other things we have that we can do is you can have panic buttons in here. And everything I'm showing you, folks, by the way, everything that I'm showing you is not only here, but on your mobile device if you are set up with the mobile app as well. They work identical. So you could have a police, emergency, or fire button. You hold it for 3 seconds. Now, special notice here, this is going to send them to the address of the control panel, not to the address or not to where your phone's located. So if you're off site and you press panic, they're going to go to your facility. But again, if we don't want these to show up, when we program the panel, you simply don't check the box and these things don't show up. So you could have just an emergency button if you wanted to, and it doesn't have to be on everybody, because again, we can create individual profiles and determine who gets to see these things. Then there's a video tab, which shows us the same thing we just looked at, just our video. Next is our history tab. So if we go down here, we have a history. We have 10,000 events in the panel. Actually, 12,000 events, 10,000 access control events, 2,000 alarm events. However, on our servers, we keep a calendar year that you can go back and you can pull events from in history from. So, but again, if I wanted to see where Mark Barber's been, all I have to do is type that in, hit enter. And now when I say I want to see where Mark's been in the IT room, so you can see what happened there. And I want to see when Mark unlocked the IT room, and there you have it. So I mean, very intuitive, very easy to use. And it doesn't have to be by user either. I could just say, show me when anybody's been in the IT room, okay, and when it was accessed. In this case, it happens to be by me again. So, but I can do that. And this is just a quick search through my history. Very, very easy. On the doors, again, same doors we looked at before, but under their own tab. Users, this is a good one. So with users, guys, I have the ability to have 10,000 users per panel, which is more than any of you are probably going to need. As I look at some of these, like Adam Jones here, first of all, we have the ability to put a little photo in there, and this one says do not delete because he doesn't want to be deleted. He must have got deleted by an admin. This shows us that he has a code to the keypad, and he also has an access control credential. If you look at CB Warren down here, he just has a code to the alarm system. He doesn't have an access control credential. So it shows you what they have. So again, if I want to come in here now, we're talking about users, and I want to find Mark, there I am. Okay, so it's that easy. And then it shows you over here, what I have set up. Now, what I wanted to show you I'm sorry, let me go back. I wanted to show you here under users is adding a new user is really easy. So to add a new user, all I have to do is come over here and say, let's give this guy a name. So we're gonna call this guy and we're gonna give him, you know, Jim James. I can enter his email address, a phone number if I wish. I can choose a photo. I can add any special notes about this guy. Come down here, I must give him a profile. So in the profile, we haven't got to yet, but a profile is basically an authority level. So you can see here, we have admin without schedules, basically 24/7. We have a cashier and time frames. We have a custodian. All right, we have all kinds, okay, general employees. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to say this guy happens to be a new janitorial guy. So if I want to make him temporary, I just hit temporary. I come up here and I click, when do I want it to start? When do I want it to stop? When I say stop, his code number and his access control credential could be limited to a 30-day period, and that's up to 420 days. So anywhere from 1 to 420 days. I'm going to give him a code to the alarm system now. So I've given him a code. Now on top of that, I need to give this guy a credential. So I come over here and I hit credential. Now by credential, I mean access control card. And you may have noticed that we also have mobile credentials, but we're going to give him a credential. In this case, I'm going to enter the code number, the internal number of his card. Okay. And if I want him to have and I can also record the external number that's hot stamped if I wish. And if I want him to have the mobile app version of this, I enter his email address here. Okay. And then I come up here and I hit save. So once I hit save, this is now saving this information and sending it to the panels. And by the way, folks, these are real connection times to panels that are located down in Springfield, Missouri. So, you know, these are not like self-contained in my computer or anything like that. So I'm actually doing this and sending this information down to Missouri. So now that you look over here, here he is. He's in the system. So now I want to get out of this altogether. Okay, and now I want to go back. I'm actually going to have to log out. Let's see, users, profiles, reports. Let's try users again. Yeah, it's still there. But let's say again, I want to find Jim. So there's a guy that I just worked with. I could find Jim Dirks just as easy, right? Or Jim James. I got Jim Hawthorne rather. But I got Jim James in there. Jim didn't work out. Now I'm logged in here as an admin, okay? So I have an admin level access, just so you know. So I'm just going to hit delete, and it says, are you sure you want to delete them? And I say yes. Okay, and so now it says deleting, and now the Jim James that I put in is gone from the panel, and his code number is no longer valid on the alarm system, and his access card no longer works. Okay. So some other things that I'll show you real quick while we're here is you have the ability as an admin to show user codes if you want to have access to everybody's user codes. A standard user wouldn't see this, but an admin person could see this, or you can hide the user codes. When we come down here to profiles, guys, so this is where we're going to decide what somebody's authority level is. Okay, so on authority level, let's just pick one here, general employees. So as many people share the same profile or authority level, typically speaking, it's grouped like that. In a small company, maybe it's the general employees, or maybe it's the warehouse folks, and then it's the office folks. So that's two possible profiles. And then upper management might have a third. You know, we have 99 profiles that we can work within. So we have plenty of profiles, and you can have up to 4 profiles per individual. So we can use those and reuse those again. But in this case, what's really nice, we talked about the integration here of our system. You can see the general employees here. They have access to the front door office and to the IT room, which is unusual. Okay, but not to the warehouse. And they also have arm and disarm capabilities. What this means, guys, is Let's say I, Mark Barber, am a general employee here. I'm the first one to arrive at the front door. When I read my credential, it's going to automatically disarm my alarm system for me. Now, many alarm companies, I'm sorry, many access control companies, they make interfaces on a simple key shunt type application to be able to do this with the alarm system. And that's because they're not integrated. They're trying to make them integrated, but they're not truly. In fact, the vast majority of the access control manufacturers out there have created such an integration, even with our panels for the security side. A software house, S2, RS2, American Magnetics, Linnell, Genetec. I mean, I can go on. They all have this simple interface. But with ours, what's nice is I can give this person now, let's just change that. So now Mark Barber comes in again, and it's the same day. I come in. It's 8 o'clock. It's within my schedule. I swipe my card at the front door. It disarms the system for me in the office area because I have that ability, and it opens the front door. Okay. I have access to the IT room, but I don't have arm and disarm capability. So now in this example, even though I am within my schedule and I have access to the IT room, I don't have ability to disarm the IT room. So when I swipe my card on that door, even though I'm within my schedule, it's not going to let me in because the alarm is on and I don't have the authority to disarm it. So we talk about this as like a manager first rule. So if this were applied to the general building, now let's say same application. I'm within my schedule. I'm the first to arrive. I swipe. It's 8:05, and I'm scheduled from 7 till 6. It's 8:05. I'm the first one there. Bad weather. I go to access the front door. It won't let me in because I don't have arm and disarm capability. And so a manager with arm and disarm capability or somebody with that would have to get there before me, swipe their card, disarm the system, then I could get out of my car and follow them in, if that makes sense. So that makes for a real nice application for emergency situations due to bad weather. Even with holidays, guys, if you don't have to worry about creating a crazy amount of holiday dates, because if we have an unscheduled holiday for some reason or unscheduled emergency, if somebody doesn't get to your building with arm disarm capability, even if the doors are scheduled to unlock, if someone hasn't swiped in, they're not going to unlock. And so you don't have to worry about getting over there because the access control system has automatically unlocked your front door. So that's just kind of an overview of that. Schedules is the same thing. Now with schedules, all we're doing is when we create a schedule, here's where we create some holidays. So we would name the schedule up here. We would just name, schedule, number 2. Okay. And, I can make it a temporary schedule. I can make it on weekdays or weekends, or I can go through and pick specific times. In this case, I'm going to say weekdays. I can have it begin on a time or sunrise, sunset if I want to follow that. And I can have it end on a time. Okay. And then I can also create holidays, A and Bs. And these are typically just half-day holidays and full holidays, because that's really all you need. And again, because again, we can assign them again and again and again. So you're either closed for the whole day because of the holiday, or you're closed for a half a day, or you could create something unusual to create more. And then areas here think of areas or partitions, if you will. These are the 3 areas we talked about. So what areas do I want this schedule to affect? Well, in this case, I wanted to do all of it. And what doors do I want it to affect? Well, I wanted to do all of it. I hit save and I've created schedule number 2. Now I can assign that schedule number 2, okay, to either authority levels or to doors, and or both. So I can have a schedule on the front door where it unlocks at a certain time and locks at a certain time. But then my profile as a general employee also has a schedule on it that says I'm allowed in that same door, from 7 a.m. in the morning until 7 p.m. at night. And again, we have about 99 different schedules. I say about because it's a lot. It's 8 per area, 8 per door, 8 per 8 per profile. We have just an unlimited number of schedules that we can utilize. So we've looked at panic, we've looked at video, we've looked at history, we've looked at doors, we've looked at schedules, actions and outputs. If I want to trip an output when someone comes through the front door, I could program it here. We've looked at users and profiles. And then another thing I wanted to show you is reports. So as before I go into reports, let me show you this too. Switching systems. So as I go to switch systems here, I'm going to log in with my same code number into a different system. Instead of the distribution center, I'm now in the corporate headquarters. And you can see here, I have a whole lot more areas going on here. All right. I still have my video and I have a lot more doors. So I just wanted to show you, I can jump from system to system very, very easy if you have multiple locations. Now I'm going to go back to the distribution center, but I'm going to log in with all ones this time. We have it set up this way, so it's a different user code. And as I log in, you'll see that it looks totally different. This person has a history. They have the ability to access the front door and they see the video. They don't even have an arm and disarm screen on here. So this may very well be like a receptionist or somebody like that. So you can set these all up as you want to. And then that person can come in here and they can say, oh, you know what? I really want my doors to be on top. So when I log in, and they can change their view. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. I'm going to go back to the distribution center, or to the corporate again. And I'm jumping around on purpose, and I want you to see how easy it is. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to, at this point, everything's set up the same. I'm going to run a report. Now, I say I am. This is you guys. This is the end user. I want to come up here, and I want to run a report. We have a thing called quick reports where I can look at today's events, all troubles, all users, all profiles, or arming and disarming exceptions, okay? Those are real quick to run. Or I can run a custom report. So in this case, I'm going to say, let's create a custom report. I'm going to call this report 7-day report. 7-day report. And I'm going to save it. And I'm going to have it, of course, over the last 7 days. And the only one included in here is the corporate headquarters. I can add any other of my systems that I want to and run them all in one report, or I can run them individually. When I look at this again, these first 5 here, alarms, arming and disarming exceptions, troubles, okay, sensor activity, these are pretty typical. Access control starts here with the door access, the output status, and the door status. So I'm going to run reports on all these individual items, but what I wanted to do now is I'm just going to run it on all events because it's so easy. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So now what's happening is it's queried the panel, okay, and it's just ran a report on everything that's happened on this panel in the last 7 days, okay? So again, I have my search feature here. I want to see where Mark Barber's been. There it is. There's everywhere I've been. And if I hit enter and I want to see when he's been in the IT room, there it is, okay? So very, very simple. And it shows me, you know, by name, by username, what area they were in, what they did. I have a full report. Now, what's really nice here is you can take this report, you can click schedule and say, I want to schedule this report and I want to get it once a week on Monday at 8 o'clock, change that to Eastern time. I can get it in a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, okay? And literally, I want also, you know, I want someone else to get it, and I can add as many emails as I want. I click save, and this report will land in your mailbox every Monday at 8 o'clock for the previous week. And you can save that report. I know of some of our dealers who have customers that have set up a special email account that they just drop all these, that's where it goes to, and they just have them there on an ongoing basis. Again, we have them on file for you back for a calendar year, but you could save these things for indefinitely. So very, very easy to run reports. Lastly, on a general use note is notifications. So on notifications, oh, you know what? That system might not be set up. Let me jump in the distribution center. Under the notifications page, what that is set up for is I click on notifications. Now I can say every time a lockdown is initiated, okay, I can put it on a schedule, or I can say always, I want these folks here to get an email and a text message saying that there's been a lockdown at my facility. Now, the reason I can't click push on here, which is a push notification within the app, is because these folks are not set up with the mobile app, because these are all employees of DMP. We have the app, but not on Pizza King, because we'd be driven crazy after a while, because everyone's doing this all the time. I could also choose push notifications, but the nice thing is these people don't even have to have the mobile app. They could just receive a text message. I want them to get a text every time there's a lockdown. And I can set up a notification on anything that I want to, on a panic alarm, on user inactivity, on an alarm, on an access denied, whatever I wanted to do, I can set this up, and all I have to do is hit save, and that's done. So very, very easy to use. So everything I've been showing you so far has been on a general user level, except for obviously add and deleting users, because I am in here as an admin. But I do want to show you, as an admin though, I can come up here and I can click admin, and I still see all of my panels over here. I can also see what is the arming status of all of these. So I can go in here and I can arm them right from here, because again, I'm an admin. And so I can do all that, which is very, very easy. What else is nice is I can come in here, and if I hit users as an admin, I can see, for example, that Brandon Plumley have access to 3 of my panels, and it tells me which building and what his profile is. Okay. And we can do that all the way down. These guys, they all have access to 3 different systems down here. Dave Farquhar has access to 2. And so I can see all of this. Also, when I go to add a system as an admin, let's add Jim James back in again. Okay, so when I go to add Jim James back in, same criteria here, folks: email address, phone number, photo, notes. If I want to come in here and I say I want to put him in these systems, I simply click. I want him in the headquarters, and what do I want him in as? Okay, I click the distribution center, and what do I want him in as? Now these other ones, they don't have all that because they don't have profiles. They're smaller systems. So I would just click, I want him in these stores as well. Then I go ahead and I enter his credentials. I make him a master, an ARM only, a temporary, or if I don't check any of these, he's just a standard user. Okay, if he has Virtual Keypad, okay, I click that, I enter his email address, his role is standard, and then I come over here and I choose, what do I want him to be able to do? Okay, so as you can see, oops, I blew that. Anyway, I choose what I choose what I want him to be able to do. So do I want to enable the panic, the fire panic, the emergency, the reports? Do I want him to view user codes, etc.? I hit save, and that new hire is sent to every system that he belongs in. So again, if you think of something like a Discount Tire or a Bell Tire store or something like that, I can subdivide these panels into groups, and I can make them into regions, so that I just have to, okay, Mark Barber got hired. He's the regional manager for Bell Tire. Literally, I click that one box and it shoots it out to all the panels in my region. And at that point, I'm entered into those panels, and I'm deleted just as easily if something doesn't work out or I quit unexpectedly. It's one keystroke to delete me from everything that I'm enrolled in. I don't have to go through panel by panel by panel, try to find Mark Barber, or geez, where's Shet? What was his code number? Nobody knows, because you don't want a bunch of code numbers existing in your panel that aren't being used. It's a security flaw. And so using this is as simple as that for the end user. And again, there's an admin level, and then you have all the individual levels that you can utilize. That is really about an overview of Virtual Keypad on the web browser. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the mobile device as well. But are there any questions on what I've showed you so far? You guys are all muted.
Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to hop on and ask.
Okay, guys, you're scaring me. I've either done a great job or a horrible job. I don't know which. So, well,
hey,
if there's
Mark, it's Tim McHugh.
Yes, Tim.
You are doing a great job. I'm always impressed. I always find out some new functionality here every time I see a review of this. And you're doing this on your desktop. How much of this can you do with the mobile app? So anywhere.
No, Tim, it's a great question. Virtually everything I just showed you, with the exception of running reports, can be done on your mobile device. So that would be an Android phone, an iPhone, an Android or a tablet, or a iPad. You can do everything I just showed you with the exception of running reports. You have to go to the web browser to run your actual reports, but virtually everything else that I just showed you can be done on a remote device.
I think that's so powerful, right? If you've got someone who has access to your facility and you part ways with them, and you know, you're on vacation in Florida and need to shut off their access, you know, tap, open your app, and you're done there.
So let me show you what that might look like real quick.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so I'm gonna come up here. Oh, let me cancel that. I gotta do a few things here, guys, because bear with me. Let's do that. Let's close that. Okay, let's go to QuickTime. That's not what I wanted. It always does that the first time. It should pick it up this time. So here's my mobile phone, guys. So real quick, I'm going to go to this DMP touchscreen right here, which is an app anybody can download. This is a demo, guys. This is not live, but I want to show you two things. When I touch that, I go to Virtual Keypad. Here's Pizza King, and again, I can arm and disarm these by area. I have a picture that I can put up of the facility. I can do zone status. Okay. I can go down and look at my history. I can have my doors. This is my dashboard, just like I showed you. And then if I go, bear with me, this little thing's in my way. Let me get rid of it. I'm afraid I'm going to click the wrong thing. All right, there we go. All right, so if I come up here and I touch where it says Pizza King up here, you'll notice now I'm logging into the Pizza King store, and that's set up as an all perimeter. But again, I can, this is my main dashboard. I can come over here, and if I go to video and I'm tapping video, I can see my video. Okay, and here, this is simulated, okay, but it shows you what I can expect to be able to see on my mobile app. Now, one thing that's kind of cool on the app that I think is nice is I'm going to go down here to settings. And if you have cameras, if you get an alarm, you'll get a push notification that looks like this on your mobile device. And it will be red. And by the way, our keypads all turn red in alarm too, our arming stations. And it says, is this a false alarm? And it says, I have a choice to answer that. Is this a real alarm or this is a false alarm? Well, looking at this guy right here with a crowbar, I'm guessing he's not my son, right? So I'm going to say it's a real alarm. And it literally says, okay, we're verifying the alarm. System will disconnect and contact the security agency. Nothing stopped in the background, guys. What's going to happen here is going to send in a verification. The original alarm went through without any hindrance at all. And so I just think that this is very powerful. And if you have multiple cameras, you would be looking at all your cameras live. Okay, so and you could touch one and call it up on an as-needed basis. So this is just, again, this is a demo that anybody can download. In fact, some of my dealers have, this is what our keypad looks like a graphic keypad, but they have their customers download this and play with the app. If they have a backlog of a week or two, and they're waiting to get their system installed, they let the end user come in here and play around with the virtual keypad and get acquainted with it before they ever get theirs. Now, with that being said, I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you a live version. This virtual keypad right here, this is my home alarm system. So I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I live in Sterling Heights, Michigan. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap that. Wow, that was, let me do this. Let me get it closed. I'm going to tap that. It's going to use my Face ID. Boom, I'm connected. That's how long it took me to connect to my home over in Sterling Heights. That's my cat Bosley. I shouldn't be showing this professionally, but I want to show you the connection time and how quick it is. Okay. Now, Tim had talked about adding somebody. If I click the edit button up here, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to click the menu button over on the right. I'm going to go to users. Okay. Now I'm going to click the edit button over here and I'm going to click add. All right. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click and I'm going to say, okay, here's old Jim and here's Jim James again. Now I have to give him a profile because I have an XR150 in my house. And so it's got access control capability, but I'm going to give him a profile. I go back and now I have to give him a code. So here I'm going to give him a code. I don't care what it is. All right. I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit save. And by the way, if I wanted to give him virtual keypad, I'd enter his email address down there and he'd have virtual keypad. By the way, there's Jim James. He could now be standing at my kitchen keypad, arming and disarming my system. I'm not home, so that better not be happening. But you know, Jim is. I've literally entered a new system user from my mobile phone that fast. More importantly, to Tim's point. So now, unfortunately, Jim didn't work out. I'm on the road. You know, I'm a mobile guy, right? I'm remote. I'm on the road. Somebody calls me. Hey, Jim just left out of here in a huff. I come up here. I hit the edit button again. I hit delete. I say, I want to get rid of Jim. Hit the little trash can. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, and it is now querying the panel, and Jim should disappear any moment here. There he goes. And just like that, if Jim was standing in my kitchen now, he could not operate the system. So that's how easy it is to utilize the mobile part of your system. And it holds true with everything. You know, you have your schedules, you have profiles, you have everything. Now, I don't have profiles on here for me. And just in case somebody noticed, it's because when I was setting up the system, I didn't check the profile box. If I wanted to appear, I checked the profile box and it will in my programming and it will show up here. So we have control over that. But just a really easy system to use, you know, as far as a very easy system to use. Any questions that I can answer at this point, guys?
Nope, all good.
Nothing at all?
Good. Don't be shy. I know it's a lot to take in, but if there's anything you want to ask, feel free to hop on your mic.
If anybody either has a DMP system or is interested in one, if you contact IPS, you know, when the need arises, or as you get closer to that, I will be happy to do this again for you with IPS on a one-on-one basis if that's something that happens down the road.
Great. And I'll be sending out a follow-up email to everyone as well, and I'll include some additional information about Virtual Keypad. So you'll have that to review as well, and that might spark some questions for you later on. Is there anything else while we're on the line?
So Taylor, I'll send you the recording once I get it.
Okay.
It takes about 30 minutes for it to come. It's recording in the cloud, and it'll send me an email. I'll forward it to you if you want to pass it on. You certainly can.
All right. Yes, and I will do that. And then there's just one more kind of housekeeping item. I'm looking here at our attendee list, and I have an email address for everybody but Luke. I do not have you on my my RSVP list, so I need an email address from you. Just so Yes, Luke Harris, just so I can follow up with you and make sure you get your gift card and all of the follow-up materials.
Luke's with DMP.
I'm sorry?
Luke's with DMP.
Luke's with DMP. Mystery solved. Okay. So he should already have the DMP materials.
Yes, he
so
should.
we're all squared away there. So Michael and Ren, I will follow up with you once we're done here and get you guys squared away. So thank you everybody for joining us. Like I said, I'll follow up with an email, and if you think of any questions, feel free to send them to me. And if I don't know the answer myself, I will get with Mark and we will get you what you need.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. See you soon.
All right.